All right, good morning and welcome to Princess Seat channel. Today is the last day in this month. Wow, 31 days of serious expectations waiting, and a lot of hopes were high towards the end of the month. It's a wonderful Thursday morning, the 31st of July, 2025. What I want to address this morning stems from what I've been addressing but was ignored. It's actually about when updates lose their power. And this should be a wake-up call for the management of sanctuary wealth and the entire grand ecosystem. Now, there is a common saying in crisis management that silence is a message too. And for a large number of anxious subscribers who are waiting for financial disbursement under the Sanctuary Wealth Multipurpose Foundation, that silence, I think, has been so deafening. But beyond the silence, there lies something even more concerning, and that is timing. Or better put, mistiming. Mistiming. Now, a couple of days ago, just I think 2 or 3 days ago, the Sanctuary Wealth Management released a memo that talks about they have not, I'm just bringing out like one of the points they raised, and that says that we have not given anybody date or time for disbursement. Now, I got a message from my comment section after a voice note I posted, and it was a message of frustration, a message that shows a sense of abandonment. The user's comment may seem a little bit harsh to some people, but let's be honest, it is brutally truthful. And in moments of systemic delay, a kind of sugarcoating the people's reality, it only deepens the wound. Now, what did the person say? He said, Nawa. That was after the message from the secretary to the Sanctuary Wealth Management, Senior Idachaba, dropped. He said, Nawa, but the 28th date has been flying around for more than 2 weeks, but you never cared to come up and debunk it. He said people have already parted with their hard-earned money in the name of spurious subscriptions. He further says that Princess Seed have already, how did he put it? Okay, let me bring it up again, not just pieces. He said, Nawa, but the 28th date has been flying around for more than 2 weeks, but you never cared to come up and debunk it. People have already parted with their hard-earned money in the name of spurious subscriptions. Too late to come now and advise against it. Why the conspiracy of silence all along? Princess Seed has been hammering on official update, but was completely ignored. To me, this update is just a loud sounding nothing. That's what the guy said. Now, I see that this single statement encapsulates the bitter core of the matter, because for weeks the air was thick with expectation. The hope that tethered to the supposed July 28th about disbursement date was massive. Whether it was misinformation or an echo chamber of false hope to the people, the fact that Sanctuary Wealth kept mute while the date gathered a lot of momentum shows a lack of strategic communication and stakeholders management. Yes, the update eventually came, but much too late. A lot of people have subscribed just because they had the date was in sight. A lot of people have increased their subscription. A lot would have subscribed more if influencers had been giving out numbers. They would have subscribed more onto what is termed uncertainty. And now what we get more after that date failed is that a lot of people began to call those people they would have subscribed to more scammers right now. Why? Because the date finally failed. Now, did you see what I'm talking about? Let us take a moment to dissect what makes communication so powerful. It's not just about what you say, it is when you say it. A truth that is spoken too late is as useless as a lie. Quote me anywhere. A truth that is spoken too late, not in time, is as useless as a lie. And in today's world, where people are informed, where people are skeptical and emotionally involved in certain things, institutions, especially those who are dealing with people's expectations and finances, we have to master proactive transparency. You can't afford to let people swim in a sea of speculations. And then after, when you feel like you suddenly dropped a sanitized, a courteous update after the storm has passed. Because by then, the update already loses its power. It is seen as reactionary, not intentional. You're just being reactive, that's all. To me, it looks like a damage control. People have been damaged, then you're trying to control the situation. But that's not honest communication. Honest communication comes before damage control. I tell you, people have already parted with their hard-earned funds in the name of spurious subscriptions, massive subscriptions. The secretary to the Sanctuary World Multipurpose Foundation did not come out until after the date has passed. Who does that? What kind of management are we dealing with? This is almost like hinting at a financial exploitation for the masses, whether intentional or as a result of what I could call systemic loopholes. And this raises a very crucial point. Delays in official update has a way it creates vacuums that scammers will fill up for you. That is to say that when leadership fails to provide early warnings to the people, false prophets will rise. People would become desperate for answers, and they'll believe any voice that appears confident or to be in control, even if it's leading them astray. And now, only after the rumored date, July 28, has come and gone, the update arrives from the Secretary of Sanctuary World, advising caution, debunking what should have been debunked weeks ago, and trying to caution beneficiaries against scammers. It is noble, yes. Don't misunderstand me. That message was noble, from the sanctuary wealth. Yes, but it was misplaced in time. And timing is everything. You can lose your money and you are only out of funds or cash for a while. But if you lose your time, a vital aspect of your life has been lost, and there's nothing you can do about it. You have to see everything to do to catch up. I warned. Yes. That person who wrote that comment was telling the truth. I warned, but it was ignored. This is more than a shout out. It's a reflection of how, in chaotic times, those calling for order and truth are often treated as noisemakers until their warnings becomes reality. I consistently call for official updates and communication, repeatedly urging the updates to be timely, to be verified, and done with clarity and precision. But like the writer said, those calls seems to be abandoned, only for the system to now catch up late, issuing what a lot of people or this particular comment writer called a loud sounding nothing. That is damning. A loud sounding nothing. It implies that the update, yes, though filled with words, but it lacked substance and impact. It came too late to be relevant. It was too vague to be trusted and too generic to restore confidence in the expectant beneficiaries. That's the danger of delayed truth. People no longer want to hear you. They tolerate you. And that's a dangerous place to be for any institution. The current state of the ground ecosystem is like a boiling pot. If you don't lift the lid occasionally to let steam out, it would eventually explode. The supposed 28th of July, that date wasn't pulled out of thin air. It spread because there was no counter information from credible sources. When you leave people in the dark, they light candles of assumptions, and eventually those candles burn, and it will burn everything down. Silence in leadership is really neutral. Yes, I don't know whether you understand what I mean. Silence in leadership is really neutral, because a lot of people would dwell on the silence and say, well, that means consent. Sometimes it is interpreted as incompetence, sometimes as negligence, and sometimes as complicity. And for an organization as influential as Sanctuary Wealth, the lack of timely intervention allows mischief makers to thrive. The ecosystem suffered for it. Now people want more than updates. They want results. They want disbursement. Disbursement is the only language that makes sense right now. At this point, no number of updates can truly ease the tension in the air. The only acceptable announcement right now is a confirmation of alert, a call to collect what they've been waiting for. We've had enough of any moment from now, this week, shortly, final stage, soonest, as long as God lives. The truth is, no update, no matter how well crafted, can replace the relief and restoration that comes from actually receiving what has long been promised to them. People are no longer reacting to this update with excitement because they are tired. They're analyzing for you every word with suspicion. That's what happens when trust is stretched thin. The fatigue is no longer emotional alone. It's even spiritual. Entire families are watching. Parents are pinning hope on what their children Marriages are strained because of expectations that is placed on spouses. Yet, updates trickle in very weak, very late, and often tone deaf. Now, to sanctuary wealth. This is not a time to be overly careful. No, this is not a time to be, I beg your pardon. It's not a time to be overly careful with your words while people are on the verge of collapse. It's time to match words with actions. If there are delays, give timelines, realistic ones. If there are obstacles, name them. If there are no updates, say so. Don't ghost the people. The longer you remain quiet or vague, the louder the voice of frustration comes. It's also time to recognize and collaborate with credible voices within the community. Yes, who have built a reputation for demanding the truth. Those are your natural allies, not enemies. When we speak, we speak. We shouldn't be treated as threats. Empower us to be able to speak the fact within this ecosystem. It doesn't fall apart. To me, that update, according to that guy, was a loud sounding nothing. And in that line, we hear the exhausted voice of thousands who feel the same. Their patience is not infinite. Their silence doesn't mean agreement. So let this be a turning point. But the day we say disbursement has begun, until then, words will not continue to sound like a kind of gong, loud but empty. And we pray truly that this moment bats not just alerts, but testimony on every quarter within this ecosystem. This is Prince's Seat. This is Prince's Seat. That is the collective gathering of princes within this ecosystem. In case you are new, subscribe and hit the bell so that you get all our vital updates in time. Thank you very much. Sanctuary Wealth, government, IMF, we are waiting for you. Have a nice day.